Alright, good morning. My name is Risma Novita. I am from C class 2020 with student number 200508600. Alright, on this occasion, I'd like to present the material about language, dialect, and varieties. Let's jump to the first material. The first material is about language. So, language is both a system of communication between individuals and a social phenomenon. So, when two or more people communicate with each other in speech, we can call the system of communications that they employ a code. In most cases, that code will be something we may also want to call a language. And the next is language varieties. Language variety refers to the various form of language triggered by social factors. Like language may changes from region to region, from one social class to another, from individual to individual, and from situations to situations. These actual changes result in the varieties of language. And language variation is like no two speaker of a language speaks exactly the same way, no individual speaker speaks the same way all the time. All right, the next is about dialect. A language consists of dialects, or a language is all groups of dialects to speak. A language is to speak a dialect of that language. So therefore, everyone speak at least one dialect. Dialect differences are usually minor, and dialect of a language are usually mutually intelligible. And the third is dialect are geographically, socially, politically determined. And the next one is about facts about dialect. Dialect variation is a matter of difference, not deficit. Non-standard dialect are self-contained systems with their regular phonological and syntactic rules. Non-standard dialect of English are choose relative to is sometimes reflecting other forms of is. Language versus dialects. Language is like prestige and dialect is like stigma. The stigmatization of the terms dialects. Like one, I don't speak dialect. And two, in reality, our speaker of English speaks some dialect regardless of its social status. Like most speakers are used variety of different dialects or styles in different situations, like writing or colloquial speech with friends, family, or formal speech with strangers, authority figures like that. So what is the differences between language and dialect? Like variety is a term used for the replace both terms. Like Hudson say, a set of linguistics items with similar distributions. And the second one is variety is some linguistics share item which can uniquely be associated with some social items. Everybody speaks a dialect, like accents to differences in pronunciation between one variety of a language and another. Like number one, a variety of language used by a group whose linguistic habit patterns both reflect and are determined by shared regional, social, or cultural perspective. The second one is all the differences between varieties of a language, those in pronunciation, word use, syntax, and variations of the given community. The third one is to apply to our varieties, not just to non-standard varieties. Like that. The next one is about kind of dialects. The kinds of dialects is very distinctive, local varieties, regional dialects. So it is reflected in the differences in pronunciation, in the choice and form of word and in syntax. And regional dialects, there is a dialect continuum. Various pressures, political, social, cultural, and educational, serve to harden current national boundaries and to make the linguistic differences between states. And dialect geography to term used to describe attempts made to map the distributions of various linguistic features. The next is social dialects. Speakers like the example, speaker of Jewish in and Italian's ethnicity differentiated from the standard variety or Black English. And the second one from this example like Christian, Muslim, and Jewish in Baghdad speak different variety of Arabic. It is possible in a given community, people speak more than one dialect. The last material is about varieties. According to Hudson, 1980, varieties is a set of linguistic items with similar distributions. And according to Ferguson, 1971, varieties is any body of human speech pattern with sufficiently homogeneous to be analyzed by available techniques of synchronic descriptions and which has sufficiently large repertory of elements and their arrangements or process with broad enough semantic scope to function in all normal contexts of communications. And according to Warhout, 90 1988, a specific set of linguistic items or human speech patterns presumably sounds, words, grammatical features which we can uniquely associate with some external factors, like presumably a geographical area and a social group. So, what is example of language variety? These include Pidgins, Creoles, regional dialects, minority dialects, and indigenous varieties. Many people think that these varieties are just incorrect way to speaking like that. But they're not. They just different. All right. Maybe that's all explanation from this material. That's all from me. Thank you and good morning.